We're not robots, just humans, yes, like you.
If you haven't checked out Netflix's Mitchells vs. the Machines, you're definitely missing out. Especially if you're someone who loves hunting down movie Easter eggs. It might be the animated film with the most hidden gems ever. And today is your lucky day because we're pretty sure we've uncovered each and every single one. Starting off, the Mitchells create their epic plan to take down Pal and celebrate after, which leads to Katie solidifying it with an epic
Mitchells engage!
Following that, there's a really cool spiral transition that's very similar to the transition of the original Batman show. Staying on track with Katie's whole Mitchells engage, we couldn't help but notice that it reminds us of another popular catchphrase in a very popular franchise.
Avengers! Assemble.
Mitchells or Mavengers?
The endgame has begun.
Next Avenger up, Spider-Man. But the Into the Spiderverse one. Multiple creators of Mitchells vs. the Machines actually worked on Into the Spiderverse and drew a lot of animation and design influence from the film. Keeping in line with Spider-Man, Katie has a sticker on her laptop that says, "Hello, my name is Katie," very similar to the one shown in Into the Spider-Verse, while we have the voiceover of the hero saying, "My name is Peter B. Parker." At one point in the film, during one of her pitch sessions, Katie suggests the Mitchells into the Furbyverse. This is so obviously referencing Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. We've got some major Spider-Man fans here. During a scene where Katie is speaking to Jade digitally, you can see Jade's username pop up and read Jade Runner 2049. This is a reference to the 2017 film Blade Runner 2049. In order to take down the PAL robots, Katie has the idea of dressing up as the robots. Not only is it similar to how Luke and Han conducted their rescue mission by pretending to be stormtroopers, but the PAL robots look very similar to them as well. In the mall scene, when the Furbies double in size, a lot of people believe this is a reference to Mechagodzilla, who doesn't shoot blue lasers but does breathe out blue fire. If you take a look at Katie's socks, they match the carpet exactly of the Overlook Hotel featured in the Stanley Kubrick horror film The Shining. She's even wearing them in the beginning when she becomes the Columbia Pictures statue. Who are you gonna call? Apparently Katie, because once she senses any lack of determination from her father, she's lecturing him about the Ghostbusters.
What if the Ghostbusters said, "You know what, let's hide underground, eat some dog, let the ghosts destroy New York"?
Well, Katie's father's name is Rick Mitchell, but in this scene, Katie thinks her dad looks a lot like 007, or as he's more commonly known, James Bond. When the Wi-Fi gets shut off, everyone freaks out. Relatable. But in this shot, there's also a stick that's run through a computer while people with paint run around yelling. This is very similar to the Lord of the Flies scene, which features a pig head on a stick. There's an epic scene in the film where Pal steps on a cell phone, which is almost identical to this opening scene of Terminator 2 Judgment Day. Speaking of the Terminator, in the film, Rick yells,
Get to the bridge if you want to live!
This is a reference to Terminator 2 when Arnold Schwarzenegger's character yells,
Come with me if you want to live.
When Katie shares her plan to use robot parts to disguise her family and terminate the enemy with a kill code, she's not only taking inspo from Star Wars, but from the Mad Max plot as well. Another Mad Max 2 reference comes when Katie suggests that they embrace the apocalypse and become robot-destroying road warriors. Unfortunately, PAL wasn't the most original idea. It's inspired by the robot HAL 9000 in the movie 2001: A Space Odyssey. They even both have similar red dots. When Katie arrives at the Mall of the Globe, she makes a comment,
My gosh, this is like Dawn of the Dead.
Because there's no one around. She's comparing the scene to the zombie apocalypse movie Dawn of the Dead. When Linda enters beast mode, a siren goes off, just like the one in Kill Bill whenever the bride is confronted with someone on her hit list. Not to mention the music in the background of the scene is also from Kill Bill. Another nod to Kill Bill is the song that's playing when the Mitchells walk out of the burning mall, Battle Without Honor or Humanity. This song was on the Kill Bill soundtrack. A lot of this film's movie references also came from things that Katie would wear or are featured on her belongings. Katie wears a Lawn Wranglers pin in the movie, which is a reference to the Wes Anderson movie Bottle Rocket. Lawn Wranglers is a company that the main character works for. Katie wears another pin in the film that says, Hi there. This is a line from the iconic Stanley Kubrick movie Dr. Strangelove. In a scene where Katie is speaking to her friends on her laptop, in the background of Jade's room you can see a poster for the film Taxi Driver. In Katie's room, she has multiple posters, including one of the 1971 horror film Isle of the Snake People. Her bedroom also features the poster from the film Creature with the Atom Brain. Someone is clearly a sci-fi fan, unsurprisingly. She also seems to like the film It Came From Beneath the Sea because a poster of it also hangs on the wall of her bedroom. Finally, she has the poster from the movie Robo Slayers 4 displayed on one of her walls. Having Katie be a fan of Robo Slayers 4 is ironic because it's a hint at how the Mitchells, a family of 4, will be slaying said robots by the end of the film. Other movie references came more subtly. In-film universe movies were just slightly altered enough to still pay homage to films we all know and love. The Fists of Furry movie we see here is just an animal reference to the Bruce Lee film Fists of Fury. Pugs in Space sound and even look familiar? That's because it pays homage to the popular Muppet segment, Pigs in Space! We see the title of the film Fear and Loathing in Central Michigan, which is a reference to Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Just Central Michigan gives some love to Katie's hometown. Y Tu Papá También is actually just a gender-swapped version of the real-life film Y Tu Mamá También. Now, this isn't a movie title, but the name Crowbar Jones is in reference to a character that appears in the show We Bare Bears on the Cartoon Network. Raptor High is a play on the animated series Clone High that features a bunch of celebrity clones going to school with one another. The short film The Perks of Having Only One Friend pays homage to the coming-of-age story The Perks of Being a Wallflower, and maybe even hints at Katie being an introvert. Portrait of an Idiot on Fire looks exactly and sounds just like the movie Lady on Fire. Katie's short film Going There references the real-world film Being There. In her other film Katie and Aaron, there are a lot of similarities to the classic film we all know, Thelma and Louise. Marchy Fear Eats the Soul isn't a film we would find familiar, but the real-world film Fear Eats the Soul is. They lived in the Jurassic period, pokes fun at the film They Live Among Aliens, and maybe even Jurassic Park. 2 in 1. Even Katie's film Dial B for Burger was in reference to an actual film. It mirrors Alfred Hitchcock's Dial M for Murder. According to director Mike Randa, a lot of the comedic techniques in Mitchells vs. the Machines were inspired by The Simpsons. They tried to incorporate the freeze-frame jokes and want to have the same kind of entertainment vibes.
And there are the boxes.
The Mitchells' car is based on a 1990 Chevrolet Celebrity station wagon, very similar to the one director Jeff Rowe once owned, and named Tom Hanks. After saving the world, the Mitchells get on the cover of People magazine, although if you zoom in, you can see the media doesn't really understand why. Harsh. Under Katie's collection, you can see a short film that's titled Director on Director Q&A. The cover photo for it is her brother dressed as new wave director Agnes Varda. When the family is at the PAL HQ, they have a robot pick out all their flaws, and one mentions a Carlo Maloney. Could this be referencing Law & Order SVU star Christopher Maloney? When PAL falls into a cup and glitches, we get a quick glimpse of the person who happens to be celeb Rick Astley. The movie literally rickrolled us. On top of her desk, Katie has a textbook that's called The Art of Film. The author that's listed is actually the animator of Aladdin and Hercules. Going back to the flaw reveals at the PAL HQ, there's one that reads, "Only pretends to like Fellini." This is a reference to the Italian filmmaker Federico Fellini, who apparently Katie doesn't actually like. When the Mitchells hit the Mall of the Globe, they don't exactly leave it in one piece. But anyway, the Mall of the Globe is actually supposed to be a reference to the popular Mall of America in Minnesota. We mentioned the Furbies above as a reference to Godzilla, but it's also a great pop culture reference. The Furbies were a huge 90s toy that brings nostalgia to many. How many of us remember Journey? Although they're an older band, they are still quite popular, especially to Rick, who observes the PAL headquarters' eclectic look and reminds him of a Journey album cover.
It's like a Journey album cover.
In one scene while the Mitchells are driving, they're listening to a tune called Nothing But Flowers, which is about someone living in a post-apocalyptic world. How ironic. For the movie, the creators took reference in design from the robot created by Honda in 2000 that was named after Isaac Asimov, the author of I, Robot and the creator of the 3 Laws of Robotics. The tech whiz from Silicon Valley in the film, Mark Bowman, is a reference to Facebook creator and tech whiz Mark Zuckerberg, and Bowman's last name is a reference to a character in the film 2001. PAL's cars that they create and we see during a presentation resemble the car Kit from the old TV show Knight Rider. Wondering where Dino Land came from? It was inspired by a Las Vegas Peggy Sue's 50s diner and dinosaur park when some of the first creators went on a road trip together. In another of Katie's textbooks, CG supervisor Ben Aguilon gets his name included as the author. The character Dirk's last name, Foley, is a side joke between filmmakers. Foley is the word to describe reproducing everyday sound effects added in post-production. Footsteps, doors. Katie's short film collection is called her K Collection. The style of the collection's design is a reference to the Criterion Collection and Kino Lorber. Remember the People's Magazine cover the Mitchells are featured on? Well, the Posies are also featured on the cover, except they get a much more positive spiel. Some things never change. Still talking about the magazine cover, according to People, there's a DNA test that confirmed Manchi is only 70% dog. We'll take bets that the other 30% isn't human either. Katie's dog movies are full of fun little details you may have missed, like a police car with the license plate Crimes. There's also a missing ball poster and slippers, a wanted poster for a squirrel, and the police motto on the wall is, "To serve and protect kibble." When Katie transforms into the Columbia Lady statue at the beginning of the film, you can see all her original characters raining down from the torch in her hand. Katie wears a pin on her sweater from the California College of Film where she'll be going to school. Another pin she always wears is one of a rainbow, possibly foreshadowing to us that she'll be or is a part of the LGBTQ+ community. In her Dog Cop film, there's a line,
"I'm here to bust criminals and lick my own butt, and I'm all out of criminals,"
which is a reference to the film They Live, when they say,
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass.
Because Katie is meant to be a filmmaker, and creators wanted to make it seem like she was the one who was editing the film, that's why we have the extra animations that pop up to explain to us how she's feeling. This is just a really human moment we loved that the creators included. Every time Katie was thinking or felt nervous, the filmmakers would let us know by having her play with the strings of her hoodie. When Katie presents B is for Burger, the names of the students on the board are actually director Michael Randa's nieces and nephews. How adorable of him. During the Dino Stop scene, you can see the logo in one shot that uses a very similar D to another company we know. Yep, Disney. Katie creates a version of Mount Rushmore to commemorate her filmmaking heroes. The mural includes Great Gerwig, Celine Sciamma, auteur Hal Ashby, and filmmaker Lynn Ramsey. Another Easter egg in the Dino Stop sequence can be found on the license plates. You can see the names of directors Jeff and Mike on them. In one scene, underneath Pal is a book called The Art of War by Sun Tzu, which is a military strategy guide. The irony is that Pal uses psychological warfare against his enemies. During the scene of Katie's school presentation, you can see the name Abby written on the whiteboard. Could it be the Abby that her brother has a huge crush on years later? Instead of having a camcorder made by PAL, like every other device in the movie, the Mitchells have a Sony camcorder, because the film was made by Sony. At the end of the film, the end credits share photos of the cast and crew members' families, including Mike Randa's family, who was the inspiration behind the Mitchells. The creators of the film created an entire robot language solely for this movie. You can actually begin to learn the language by skipping to transition scenes where the translation word is written in a robot underneath the English text. Good luck! Katie's lightning earrings represent her love for tech. The symbol resembles the charging symbol on many modern devices. Just look at the top corner of your phone once it's all plugged in. Linda's earrings, on the other hand, are shaped like hearts, hinting at her obsession with being social media perfect and getting as many likes as possible on social media. What would a movie be without some epic cameos? Mitchells vs. the Machines? It's full of them. The first notable cameo we have in the film is none other than co-director Jeff Rowe. He plays a blonde-haired side character who shouts,
"Hey, I like fun!"
before being abducted by one of the robots. The Legends themselves lent their talent to Mitchells vs. the Machines. John Legend and Chrissy Teigen, that is. They're the voices behind the media-obsessed neighbors Haley and Jim Posey. What would a comedy movie be without some SNL actors, right? The lovable Eric and Deborah Bot 5000 are played by comedians Beck Bennett and Fred Armiston. We can't forget about another SNL comedian, Sahir Zamata, who lent their voice to Katie's classmate and eventual girlfriend, Jade. Normally, we wouldn't expect the NBA to make a crossover with a Netflix film like this, but basketball player Blake Griffin made his cameo as Pal Max Prime. Talk show host Conan O'Brien even got himself a part as Glaxon 5000. Iconic YouTuber Elle Mills? She also has a part in the film as Katie's college friend Hannah. Considering both directors Randa and Rowe worked on the Gravity Falls series, this isn't extremely surprising, but Gravity Falls creator Alex Hirsch voices Dirk. It's not every day that a film brings a dog on set to do actual voice work, but internet star Doug the Pug was brought on for all the Monchi side effects and noises. Last but not least, Charlene Yee has a cameo as the Posey's daughter and Katie's brother's crush, Abby. We should definitely thank Katie for being the film buff that she is, and the directors for just letting go and having fun with the film. Mitchells vs. the Machines is like a movie and a treasure hunt built into one. Did we miss any Easter eggs that you picked up on? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.